All right, let's get ready to wrap up here. NFL extra points right now. With, of course, yours truly, Charles Bryce, Richey, Reese the ruler right now. One of the biggest storylines, aside from the Bears right now, they get ready to go on their bye week right now as they get ready to prepare. Right now, they got four out of their remaining six games against NFC North divisional opponents. Lost this past Monday to the Minnesota Vikings. But in the meanwhile, aside from that, right now, the biggest storyline was Brees being placed on IR following his bruised ribs injury, plus also reportedly supposedly having a collapsed lung in the game against the 49ers right now. They have now elected to start Taysom Hill, according to the NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, which he finds very surprising. Signing a guy like Jameis Winston in the offseason be on the depth chart, and probably most people have thought would have been the guy filling in for Brees. He's been taking a lot of the first team reps throughout the week right now. And the Saints right now, they still got to lead in first place in the division, but got to be very careful right now if they can slip out of that. Should the Tampa Bay Buccaneers be able to take care of business right now? Remember, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got swept in the regular season, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this weekend, they will be facing right now the LA Rams. That's gonna be a Sunday night game on tomorrow on Monday. A Monday night game against the Rams. Reese, what was your thoughts and reaction right now? And with Drew Brees and the Saints right now, how do you think they're handling this situation? And where do you think their championship status still stands at this point?
Well, I checked on the report. It's only giving them they said that he should be back in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And when you look at a team like the Saints, they can withstand this. I think that they can probably come out if he leave 3 weeks, 2-1, and still in a position to get that division title. So, but when you look at Peyton, he doesn't really mind that as long as his team makes the playoffs. Then because only one team get a bye, so if it's not their team, then they know that they have to play anyway. And he always understanding whether you home or away, you need a win. There's not really fans a lot of places, so it's not really a bigger difference. But I think starting Hill, Jameis Winston has always been an iffy quarterback. He'll throw a touchdown and come down and the next play and throw a pick. And I think with Hill, we get to see his arm. And if he can make some passes, he can be a nice dual threat because he definitely can run the ball. So it's going to be something that the defense have to prepare for him. So I won't say either one of them was a toss up, but it's looking like Hill should get the start because maybe he's more controlling with the ball.
And I think to add to that with Taysom Hill, as far as regards to that point you're just making too, I think the thing is too, they seem to be doing a lot more creative plays with him, where you see him doing the wildcat or whatever, and he's still got a legitimate arm right now. I just feel like maybe they're just showing a sense of loyalty to him since he has been there the previous 2 years behind Drew Brees. In fairness, but
Understand the play more.
yeah, the playbook, but I would think a guy like James Winston would make a little bit more sense going into this week. I mean, when you had things all considered, I mean, the New Orleans Saints, I mean, they took care of business by sweeping the Bucks head to head, so they own a big time tiebreaker over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Should they finish in the tie, they will get the division by default on that. But you're going to have to go in this weekend at home against the Atlanta Falcons right now, who are 3-6. Yes, they've been having a frustrating season, but I would think this would be a time right now where the Falcons, they could smell a little bit of blood right here and probably steal one from the Saints if they're not careful. In the meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we just mentioned they're going to be playing the LA Rams. I mean, this weekend on Monday Night Football here. And so I want to ask you right now, let's go in some stock that is rising or falling right now. If you had to say right now, whose stock is rising right now between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints, despite the fact that the Saints did sweep the Buccaneers in the regular season, who would you go with?
And of course, I think the upside is the Tampa Bay now, because now you're looking at a team that's going to be without their starting quarterback, which is the Saints, for 3 to 4 weeks. And so that right there can put a fold, because your original game plans, especially towards the end of the season, is going out the window. But you have times like this. So Tampa Bay definitely gets the nod. But that's the reason why I think they went with Tennessee Hill. And if you look at the Saints, David been really playing with two quarterbacks a lot all season, every game. So don't be afraid if you might see Jameis Winston, just because he's not the starter, coming in for a couple of plays, and they start to flip flop more like a college dual quarterback. So I definitely will give the nod to Tampa Bay. But Sean Payton is always a smart man, EIU alumni. So he's a smart man. So I'm sure that he can definitely figure out a way to keep these games close and devise a plan to just make sure that these plays are the right plays to, get him to victory. But if I had a choice, I definitely take the nod to Tampa Bay. Tom Brady looking like he's, getting into form, that late season in stretch, that understanding, getting people in their roles, the playbook is clicking. So I definitely give the nod to Tampa Bay, but I will not say that the Saints are not out of this.
Yeah, I think I definitely have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. It just seems like they could be okay with losing a pair of games to the Saints. But, I mean, Brady's going to still bring that effect. I think the only thing I have a little concern with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm gonna go ahead and go on the record and say this right now, Reese. Bruce Arians is going to be the odd man out at some point. This is not going to work long term with him and Brady. And you saw him take little criticism. This is the first time in a long time Brady's been hearing this. He's been hearing it from previous offensive coordinators before in the past. I mean, when you truly look at it, where it's Bill O'Brien, who used to be one of his offensive coordinators once upon a time in New England and stuff. And I just don't feel like he's too warmed up about the idea of having Antonio Brown on his team. Tom Brady went to bat for this guy big time. I mean, who really saw a lot of things special, what they have in coming growing up. And then you look at Bruce Arians, he really had to be talked and sold on this idea and see for himself that Antonio Brown was starting to slowly mature. We'll see if he doesn't get any suspension, depending from his last situation, which happened at a guarded residence where he destroyed the security camera. But I tell you what, I'm not, for the long term, Bruce Arians is going to be out of the picture, in my opinion.
Well, no, we already see it. Tom Brady going to probably get a lot of offensive coordinators out, coaches out before he go anywhere. He's a 6-time champion, so his word is a lot. His word was a lot heavier, like a lot of this. So,
who's to say he may not recruit Josh McDaniels down there to be the head coach if Bill Belichick ain't refusing to yield the head coaching job in New England?
Well, I think Sean, like he already tried with the Broncos. Some people I think just should be offensive coordinator, and I think that he's a great offensive coordinator. So if they can get him over there, then that'll be great. But I don't think he's leaving the Patriots. I think the Patriots actually finna turn around right now in this last half of the stretch. Myself, they have shown to really get it. Cam is starting to really, figure out these plays and come into it. So with Tom Brady, I believe that I still don't see him winning the division. I'm still say the Saints. I believe that the Saints will squeak out a way to manage without Bree to hold on and win that NFC South title.
Okay, next up, stock falling. Who would you have to choose between these two teams? In the AFC, both of them at one point divisional leaders. They're both in second place right now. You have the Baltimore Ravens, who have went 1-2 since losing their head-to-head matchup to the Steelers, which includes that game. And right now, you got the Tennessee Titans right now, who have gone 1-3. Both of them have one thing in common. They both lost to the Steelers right now. Both are in first place for the moment, as are the Steelers right now. Steelers got a nice, comfortable 3-game lead right now, and things go the way as planned. They were able to take care of business Sunday against the Jaguars, and the Ravens lose one more time to the Titans. Steelers have an opportunity to clinch the AFC North as far as early as Thanksgiving, while the Titans still got a little bit ways to go. Who would you say is more on the decline, Ravens or Titans at this point?
You know what? I to be honest, right now, I think they both. Teams that are trying to find their identity, even though they're 6-3, but it seems like it's a more of a 5-4 for both teams. Like we haven't seen what we saw last year right now. So I don't see what's the good part about this game is that they're playing each other. So, whichever team wins is the team that benefits the most, and the team that loses, you start to question who are they, because one of these teams are going to be 6-4. So I can't tell you which team I think. I actually think their both stock is falling.
If I had to choose between the two, I'm going to definitely say the Ravens. And the reason why I'm going to go with the Ravens in this facet is because of this. It's been happening little by little since their playoff loss last year. I mean, you had their first loss of the season against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. That was a first loss. But then you also look at a guy like Lamar Jackson right now in his career as far as like comebacks go. In his all-time career, as far as like whenever his team is trailed by 10 points or more, 0-4, he has never been able to come back from a double-digit deficit at all in his career. And I just feel like right now, I probably have to go with Ryan Tannehill over Lamar Jackson. I mean, don't get me wrong, Lamar Jackson still has that threat with running the football. He could still pass here and there. But Ryan Tannehill has been more solid right now. And then this Ravens team right now, they can still be a playoff team. But as far as being a Super Bowl champion, with the way they acquired in the offseason, when you think about everybody who they've been able to get, man, I'm not so sold on this Ravens team so much. I really feel like like Calais Campbell, yeah, Patrick Queen, has some real nice weapons. I'm gonna go with the Ravens in that one. So let's go ahead and get real quickly. Let's go ahead and get to our NFL picks of the week. I'm gonna go ahead and start this off, Reese. Ravens, Titans, and Baltimore. I'm gonna go ahead and give me the Ravens. I think they'll be able to pull this one off. They're at home, despite hardly any fans right now with the intense COVID protocol. I'm gonna take the Lions over the Panthers. Give me the Eagles over the Browns. Patriots over the Texans. Packers will be in Indianapolis versus the Colts. Give me a Colts. I'm going to go for an upset in this one. So give me Phillip Rivers and the Colts defense to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Steelers, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They'll take care of business against the Jaguars, even though it is a trap game. Falcons versus Saints. And then in New Orleans, give me the Falcons for an upset. Give me the Washington football team over the Bengals. Give me the Vikings over the Cowboys. Chiefs and Raiders rematch. I'm going to go ahead and go double down on this one. Give me the Raiders one more time. It's in Las Vegas Sunday night. I'm doing pretty fantastic on primetime so far. Dolphins and Broncos. Give me the Dolphins in this game, despite it probably being cold weather. Chargers and Jets expect us to stay winless. Give me the Chargers. Then last but not least, give me the Buccaneers over the LA Rams. And that's my picks for this week. Reese, go ahead.
Start. Eagles, Browns. I got Browns. Browns at home, 6-3. I don't even know who the Eagles are. Saints and Falcons. I believe that the Saints still get this one out without Drew Brees and keep their, division hopes alive. Bengals and Washington football. I'm gonna take the Bengals. Lions and Panthers. I'm gonna take the Lions. Steelers and Jags. I got the Steelers going 10-0. Titans and Ravens. Give me the Titans. I believe that run game can hold the Ravens. Patriots and Texas. I believe that the Patriots get 5-5 and get even. Dolphins and Broncos. I take Dolphins. That they're looking pretty hot. Roll Tide. Jets and Chargers. I believe this week the Jets get their first win. Packers and Colts. Bad man Aaron Rodgers. I got to go with him. Cowboys and Vikings. I'm going to take the Vikings. Chiefs and Raiders. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Rams and Broncos. Give me the Rams.
Okay, and one more time. Who was that again on the Titans and Ravens before I let you out here?
Titans.
Titans. All right. Well, thank you, Reese. And that's going to do it for this edition here of On Deck on CSR. Once again, catch us every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. Follow my man on Twitter and Instagram at ISTR3 with ISTR3 with Nutherbolt. And then you can also check him out on Facebook at Kemosabi. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richey. And then for the Mansfield Podcast on Twitter at Mansfield CGR and on Instagram at Mansfield Nation. As we always leave you, as we end the show, don't be trolling. Be out here. We gone. Reese, you have a nice weekend, my man. Stay safe.
Yeah, follow me on Facebook, guys. I host a sports show tomorrow, Sunday, from 10 to 12.
Be sure to check that out for sure, man. Thank you very much, Reese.
He's got it. That's a winner.